Hello again and welcome back to Pete's Model Car Customs. This, although that's the wrong sort of stripy Mustang, is a further update on the Mustang II. I've got to the stage where I've added most of the details and worked out most of the parts, but I was rather unhappy with the engine bay, and although I'd converted it to plates, I didn't have any shock absorber posts, in it. So I've used an old Mustang and cut out the internal tub of there, and then once I'd cut them out, cut out the shock towers. That's the blimmin' shock towers. So I've cut them off of that plate there and this plate as well, giving me 2 shock towers, which I've then been able to build up into this. Oh, that's no good, is it? Hang on a minute. Into this. So I've used the shock towers there from the Mustang, and they had a broken cross brace. So I've made up another cross brace onto my rear bulkhead there. I've got my engine sitting in so as I can check all the clearances of everything. I've added the battery I was using. If I take that off of there, let's count it back. Take that back out. So I've used the battery I was using before and relocated that and built up a new radiator mounting plate with some angle pieces there to support the radiator. And I did actually lower my engine mountings, which are those white square pads down the bottom, and then put new pads either side of the central post. If I flip that over, you can see they're sort of T-shaped posts out of the chassis and support the engine. The shock towers have let me sort of fill them into the inside there, giving me an inner wheel arch. But I've had to check every time I do something to it that I'm actually not stopping something else going together. So I've got all the interior parts into the body and made sure that they're all level and fitting in. I've also expanded the long way around, expanded the inner wheel arches there with inner fenders, so as they snugly fit into the body there, and fill in all the gaps that were underneath there. Also, there's quite a lot of untidiness left with how the bumper fits when you do plug it in, so I've adapted the rear bumper so as it holds the floor in as well. Long way, Peter. So by building up this plate on the back here, I'm covering up the mountings. I've also put a reinforcing tab along there that's going to pin the floor in. So by just popping that back in, wobble all over the place. Oh, just before I do that, I also added 2 tabs into there, because with the bumper fitted you could see straight in, so I've put in 2 tabs, one either side, to blank that off, and then this part slips in to the bumper mountings, and then gives me a closed off gap behind that bumper, but ties this body part in. And I've got all my roll cage, windscreens and everything else sitting in there, apart from the seats and the minor, parts. I'm still taking that backwards and forwards again. And then I'll just get that sort of wiggling, hopefully. Oh, it went in earlier. Let's clear that now. Oh, there we go. Right, sorry about that. So there we have the new engine bay and inner wheel wells, or inner fenders, and it's all fitting in, all locates together. Like I said, that's held in there. I've still got to work that all out. There's a bit of a gap around this side, but if you look at the thickness there of the actual car body in the arch, and then over this side is where I had to build it up to get the shape back. Well, one of these sides was that there was a difference in the sides, and I noticed a lot of thickness there, but either way I've tried to centralise all this, and that does pull in, so when I actually get it together there might be some minor trimming, but I doubt it. Well, might be, I don't bloody know yet. But everything else, I feel much better about having proper inner arches or inner fenders, and the whole lot will support the engine. Getting everything there. Little adapter on the end of the radiator there to link it into the radiator hose when I come to fit that all in. I improved the steering wheel a bit because it was rather chunky, I thought, on the. So I put a chamfer down each edge, put straight away at an angle, and then repainted it all up. Also, there was a funny mould mark in the centre, so I sanded that back out and put in another covering disc or discs, I can't remember which, maybe one, and then repainted it. That's all I was about to say, really. Mainly in the interest of people trying. I thought this was quite handy in locking that in and tidying the back end up, because there's a lot of stuff. It just looks cleaner as I'm going along, and then making all this lot up out of sheet plastic and a couple of bits of angle. There's angle down there to hold the radiator. Anyway, best wishes from jolly old England. Bye.